Good evening. Welcome to One Step Beyond with me, Theo Chalmers. My show tonight is 1 hour long. If you have any questions for my guests, text them to 86686 with the word beyond, a space and then your message, and we'll pick up on the good ones. They're all charged at standard rate. My guests tonight are three people with an extraordinary tale to tell. One is a lady from Sweden who has developed a complementary treatment system based on laser light, energy cell treatment, or ECT, and she has been developing and refining it for almost 30 years with, if substantiated, some truly remarkable results over many debilitating conditions. With her here in the studio is the lady who represents her work in the UK, and live on video, linked from Sweden, is a former world-class athlete who suffered major neck trauma, making him a tetraplegic, apparently unable to breathe unaided. He now walks again. It is important to state now that no representation of any kind will be made for the efficacy or otherwise of this treatment, or whether it can help with any condition. This is presented as of interest only, as the originators are actively seeking academic research interest. Those requiring treatment are strongly advised to seek qualified professional help. Tonight we are going one step beyond with my special guests, Susanne Johansson, Janet Evans, and Marcus Lillebjorn. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good to have you here. I wonder if we can say hello to Marcus quickly in Sweden. We will get back to you in a second, Marcus. There we go. Can you hear us, Marcus?
Yes, I can.
We will come back to you in a moment. I'm just going to ask Susanne about how she developed this treatment, and then we will show the film of you and come back to you if that's okay while we have you on the link. So, Susanne, you developed this treatment, ECT, energy cell treatment, using laser light.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Almost. Started
Almost.
1984.
1984.
Yeah.
I mean, how? How did you come to do that?
First, when I heard and saw research that from a doctor, Mester from Hungary.
Yes.
He was the one who found out about the laser and all different tests and research that he did in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he laid all the groundwork, if you like.
Yeah. And the first, what I saw and what take my really interest was the healing processes on scars, infections. And when I saw that, I want to go further to see bigger infections, inflammations, and it took me step by step.
And more conditions.
Yes. So in '86, I did a study on horses together with a veterinary.
Okay, well, so obviously there's no placebo effect on horses.
Exactly.
Either it works.
Yeah.
You're not going to say, hey, horse, we're going to cure you, and you're going to feel a lot better, and the horse is going to go.
No. And it was amazing to see and what different type of light and mix could do together. But what I'm doing today is more that it took me 70 years to find out.
Well, now you're working with patients, you know, terminal cancer patients, MS,
Well,
and again, it's really important to state, we're not making any claims. People have got to check things out for themselves and go to their medical practitioner, but, you know, you have been doing this for some years, haven't you, working with people with these serious conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the film. We've got a film here of Marcus Lillebjorn, which I think is we could talk over it, can't we, because we haven't got any music. So let's run VT. Okay, here's Marcus.
Yeah.
He was training to be in the Swedish Air Force.
Yes.
In the aviator program. That would have been him, Top Gun, I suppose.
Yeah, yes.
And this is him as a gymnast.
Yeah, he was amazing.
He was amazing.
Yeah, he is amazing.
Yes, he is.
And this is how he broke his neck, isn't it? In a training camp.
Yeah.
But not in this film, you'll be pleased to know. We don't have that on film. Okay, so just a week before he was going to go into the Air Force, this is him, and this is his neck.
This is his neck,
This is the break in his spinal cord.
Yeah. And there you can see where it was broken.
Okay, and
This is
Is it-
February.
is this the first treatment?
No, this is just before I came.
Okay.
This is...
So was he moving now?
He could move one knee there.
He could move one knee.
with his friends.
There's his friends, okay.
And there is after the first...
This is you doing the
Yeah,
first...
this is me doing the treatment, yes.
Okay.
And this is after the first treatment.
And he's obviously moving his hand. And he couldn't do this before?
No, no, he couldn't.
Okay.
And this is 6 days after the first treatment.
I mean, that is remarkable for somebody
is,
who has a
Eh,
seriously
Yeah,
broken neck.
yeah.
And you carry on doing this treatment now, do you?
Yes, yes.
So you've been doing it
Yeah.
for quite some time.
This is after 13 months.
And this is his ventilator.
Yeah, exactly.
So now he can survive for up to 12 hours without...
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he
He
still needs
uses
it
it only in the night.
needs it at night. Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like somebody who was paralysed, totally
No,
paralysed.
no.
Apart from that, but that one thing, he can move his knee a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay, here he is, walking.
yeah. He's a truly hero.
Yes, remarkable.
Yeah.
So, Marcus, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Marcus, we've just watched your film and it is truly remarkable. Tell me, what did the doctors tell you after you broke your neck?
The first thing they told me that they didn't know how massive the injury was, and they could obviously see that I was a tetraplegic, that I was paralyzed in my entire body, and I was in respirator, so I couldn't breathe. But they told me that they didn't know how much I would recover, if I would stay at that state or gain motor activity or anything back.
But Susanne has just told us that you could move your knee a little bit before the treatment.
I could move my knee a little bit before the first treatment, but after the first treatment, everything just speeded up 10 times.
Okay, and now you can walk.
I can walk small distances.
Okay, I mean, you're not back to how you were yet, are you?
No. I can't do all those flips yet, but I'm hoping that I can recover much more than I already have.
So what do the doctors tell you? What do they say to you?
They say that when I was at the hospital, they told me that it's really fascinating that you gain some recovery, but you should be prepared that it should stop, so that I would stay in that state. But it has continued.
And do you notice an improvement, a gradual improvement, carrying on?
Carrying on and still going on.
So, you know, every time you have the treatment, you get better? I mean, I'm asking the question now, I'm not making a statement, but is that the situation, that you feel better after each treatment, or sometimes it doesn't make a difference? How does...
Mostly I feel better after every treatment, and it doesn't always have to be about that I can move my finger more than I could the week before. It also involves fever, infections, and me being sick.
Oh, okay. So have you had fevers and infections then?
Yes, a lot of them.
Is that because you're more vulnerable when you're paralyzed the way you were paralyzed?
I'm much more vulnerable, just because of the breathing here where I connect the tube. It's a lot of bacteria that can go in that way and make me sick.
Because you have a hole in your neck still, don't you?
Yes, I do. It's tracheostomy.
Tracheotomy, yeah.
Yeah, and you connect the tube here, which pumps air down to my lungs, so I can breathe. Or it breathes for me, the respirator.
But at the moment, you're breathing for yourself. Right now, you're breathing for yourself.
Yes, right now I'm breathing for myself.
So why do you still need it at night? Is it because you're less conscious?
I can't breathe by myself. I can only breathe when I think about to breathe. That's why I need it at night. But it's a development, and I hope that in a couple of months I will be able to remove this tracheostomy.
You know, I'm not trying to frighten you or anything, Marcus, but I'd be quite scared that if I was asleep, I wouldn't know that I wasn't breathing.
Yes, it's a bit scary at the first time, but you get used to it quite fast, actually.
Well, you've already done it. You've already had periods of sleeping with no ventilator.
Yes, yes. The first night at the hospital, when I didn't actually realize I was using a ventilator, I thought there was someone next to me snoring like horrible. So it's kind of difficult sometimes to realize what is actually going on.
And it was the air rushing in and out of your tracheotomy hole, was it?
Yes, yes, it was, and that was the one I thought was a snoring man.
So, I'm confused as to whether you're the unluckiest man alive, Marcus, or the luckiest. How do you feel about which one you are?
I feel that I got a second chance to life, that I lost everything in a fraction of a second, and then I'm slowly climbing the ladder back to life, which feels super great.
And do you put your recovery down to this ECT, this energy cell treatment?
Yes, I am. It has helped me a lot, I believe. It's not only that I can see the results, first of all, because the day after the first treatment, I couldn't move my hands or arms or anything. And only the day after, I could move my fingers for the first time. That was amazing. And to see 40 treatments, and I'm at this state, that is just unbelievable.
Yes, I mean, it does seem quite remarkable that it operates so quickly.
Yes, yes. And
that's the cause.
Yeah, and it's only been 13 months.
Yeah.
So
is your ambition to go back into the Swedish Air Force and become a fighter pilot, or to be a gymnast again? Is that possible, do you think?
I don't think it's possible that I can be a gymnast again. And I don't, my expectations aren't that I will fly as a pilot, but I'm thinking about studying, as I was doing before, civil engineering.
Okay, civil engineering, okay. And yeah. In terms of your break in your neck, we saw that photograph in that film, and we
Yes.
also have another picture of that. It seemed to me that your spinal column was not only broken, but it was disconnected. It wasn't, you know, what the top bit wasn't on top of the bottom bit. It was at one side. Have the surgeons attempted to join it up again, or how does this work?
The C4 was damaged very much. It was almost crushed.
This is the fourth vertebra?
Yes, the fourth vertebra. It was almost crushed, so they had to reinforce with another plate that they was putting in between the third vertebra and the fifth.
We've got the image up now. So they put a metal plate in there, have they?
Yes, they did.
Because, I mean, it seems to me that there's at least a centimetre apart, you know, in terms of the sideward angle of it. So that's now lined up.
Yes, it is.
And you have a spinal column, you know, there is a nerve column inside there, isn't there? The major nerve.
Yes.
Okay. That is extraordinary. And thank you so much. We might come back to you if we get some good questions texted in. So if you can hang around, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back and talk to Janet and Susanne. And but thank you so much for what you've told us so far.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, I mean, that is a very powerful testimony, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
You know, I am quite blown away by the fact that somebody who, I think in most circumstances, would have been paralysed for life. I mean, I'm no expert, but it's you know, you do hear about people who break their neck, diving accidents, things like that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And he seems to be bouncing back remarkably.
They can walk and eat. And
so how does it work? I mean, somebody's just texted in. How does it work? How does it work?
Let's say it's more helping the immune system give back the energy on the cell level. So the immune system can heal by itself. You're helping the immune system with the healing. We do know that our own body is the best doctor.
Yeah, this sounds like other guests I've had saying this. You know.
Yes, and it's true. It's my
Susanne, and we're going to go for a break now. If you'd like to text in your questions or comments for Susanne Johansson, Janet Evans and Marcus Lillebjörn, please do so now to 86686 with the word beyond, and we'll see you back here again very soon.
One Step Beyond, in association with Nexus Magazine.
Welcome back to One Step Beyond with me, Theo Chalmers, and my special guests, Susanne Johansson, Janet Evans, and Marcus Lillebjörn. Well, okay, we're getting quite a few texts here. Let me read out a couple of texts here. Janine says, brave Marcus, there are monitors to guide your breathing while you sleep. Live long and be well. And in fact, I did check with Marcus. There are monitors, and he has somebody sitting by his bed, so not to worry, eh? Stephen in St Helens says, what type of illnesses or injuries has this been tested on? Is it only a treatment for physical injury? So
no, it's not.
It's not.
It's
What what diseases has it been treated on?
Most diseases, and most uncurable diseases.
Most uncurable diseases.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a big claim. Name those diseases.
Different type of cancers
Different types of cancers.
and
We have
Parkinson.
to. There are so strict rules about making claims and things like that. We have to keep saying to people, check with your medical practitioner. You know, don't take anything on trust. And
No. But the thing is, I'm not the one who give the diagnose. I'm not the one who takes tests.
no, I know. But if somebody were to do your treatment instead of having chemo or radiation or whatever, you know, there could be potentially implications. We have to be so careful.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
have to say.
Yeah, of course.
I have
of
to make
course,
those.
of course. But
Unfortunately.
when I treated a disease, or if I'm treating Marcus, I don't go there to the hospital and treat Marcus if I'm not have confirmed it with their doctors.
No,
Of
they're happy
course,
for you to be there.
Yes, of course. In other case, I wouldn't do it.
Okay, and I know you are trying to get a university to look into and examine what you do.
Yeah, because there is, we do have a lot of results, and what I need and we need to do now, it's explain the results
Yeah.
in a scientifically way.
Well, I
so,
think that's.
yeah,
I think that's,
yeah.
And what about Janet? You do the same thing in the UK then?
I do, yes. I was just going to come in there and say, you do already have sponsors in Sweden, don't you? On that site.
How
on
does that
studies.
work then? They're sponsoring what? A medical
Sponsoring
study,
to,
or
to do a medical studies.
so they're starting, or they've started?
We
or?
are on our way to start it up. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's yeah.
But
I
we
think the
don't
most
know yet.
important thing is to find a good explanation to the results, because the results is there.
Okay. Well, here's one from somebody called Kay Stark in York, who says, "Can this help Parkinson's?" Has it been used on Parkinson's?
Yes, it has. I have treated Parkinson, but I would never say that I cure diseases. What I can do, I can say that I treat with very good results, and
Okay.
what I can promise, it can't make any harm.
Okay, well, that's good. It can't make any harm. Okay, because it's light and you're not using it to cut through people like you can in certain places.
No.
All right, I'm going to read some. There's some really good text coming in, so I'm going to read some text. Scott from Kent says, "Does the energy cell treatment have any effect on healthy cells?"
How do we know that?
You don't know because the studies haven't been
Healthy
done.
cells. No, what I have been done so far is treating diseases, not healthy cells.
No, I know, but I think the question really is quite a sort of scientific one in a sense. If it's affecting cells in a way that they're self-healing, because that's
Yeah.
what you said,
Yeah.
then what effect is that having on the healthy cells? Is it kind of turbocharging them?
No,
perhaps,
no,
or
no, no, no.
making them replicate more often?
Giving the energy to the body. The light photons are giving the energy for the
it's
immune
like we're-
system to work.
Because
So
there are people who claim they can live off light. I mean, that's kind of like on one of the ends of the
that's
belief
another thing.
systems, isn't it? You know, there's people who can sit out in the sun and claim they don't need to eat food.
that's a big claim.
That's a big claim. Okay, here we go. Jane Brew has said, are your guests not worried that they may be threatened because of this, as others have been? I think probably she's referring to, you know, the pharmaceutical industry, which has interests in keeping things perhaps as they are.
Let's say my focus is not on negative things. My focus is on positive things.
Okay. Somebody asked, can it heal organs such as the pancreas?
I have treated this sort of diseases, and that has also been present in the United States. And,
We actually
Yeah.
have patients with pancreatic cancers.
Really?
Yes.
yeah, doing
Okay.
very good.
All right.
On the website, you'll actually see a video.
All right, I'm gonna, because it's not, you know, although this is one of the first shows you've been on, you are not completely ignored by other media, because this is the current issue of Natural Health magazine, the March issue, and there's a thing on the front here which says, it says, I beat MS with energy cell treatment, and then inside there's a full-page article headed Miracle Light. I think we can probably show that actually, because I've scanned it. So this is a full-page article about the energy cell treatment. I think you were going to say, Janet, they made a couple of mistakes at the end with the contact information, haven't they?
They did, yes. The clinic is in Windsor and not, was it Warrington?
Winchester, they
Winchester,
say.
yes. It's Windsor. And the
They
email
put the
address,
website address as
website,
energy call treatment.
and it's energy
dot
cell
energy
treatment.
cell treatment.eu.
.eu, yes.
But so I think perhaps if people are interested in finding a bit more, they might just buy the current issue of Natural Health. Where is this? In places like Smith's, is it?
It is, yes. And in some of the supermarkets, I think Tesco's, possibly Waitrose.
So the
quite a few
word is
places.
getting there. I know you did a program in America, didn't you? In Washington, you were on television.
It was a morning show, yes.
And that's because the journalist is somebody that you treated.
Yes,
Bit of luck
yes, with MS.
with MS.
Yes, yes. And in the show, there was just a patient from Holland
Yes.
who had suffered from pancreas cancer, and one with prostate cancer. There was an interview there. Yeah.
And you were telling me earlier that quite often the doctors will refer patients to you that they've given up on. It's like, and you know, I'm paraphrasing here, so I'd like you to confirm that. They've basically said, there's nothing we can do, so if you want to try this, be my guest. Is that the sort of attitude, or is it not? I mean,
No, not really. Some. I mean, if you don't know anything about the treatment or having any interest to know anything about it, then yes. But most knows at least it can't make any harm, so it's well worth trying.
yes.
And also that maybe they are not allowed to recommend another treatment who is not recognized from
In the medical world.
yeah.
Do you
But they
have
have
that?
found
Do you have-
out
Sorry.
via other, they might have been recommended or found out about the treatment from other patients. And by that route, they found
Yeah,
Susanne. And they've seen results with other patients and thought, well, why not?
Okay. Here's a good question. Do you think that your treatment success is in any way connected to the meridian system, which exists in acupuncture and acupressure?
I don't work. I work more giving back energy. Yes, that's energy too. Everything is energy. But what I'm doing is more revitalizing on the cell
On
level.
the cell level.
Yeah, I mean, John Barrow makes a good point. He says the immune system and paralysis are not linked because it's not to do with immunity, it's to do with physical damage.
Yeah, but still, if I'm suffering from a viruses or a bacteria or a broken neck, it's the same system that heals us, our immune system. It can be
Building cells, or
it's a disorder, and if we have a disorder, then there is no. You have a disorder.
We might lose the communication
yeah.
between the cells.
It's a wrong communication on the cell level,
I mean,
and that we can understand if we get paralyzed or something. But still, immune system doesn't mean that we should boost it, or if it's too high, then it attacks us. If it's too low, then it's too low. Immune system means a balance. Find the right balance on each person.
I mean, a lot of people are making the same point about Big Pharma. Poppy in Malden says, we know Big Pharma doesn't want this. And she goes on to say, the biggest problem in older people is arthritis. Does it work with arthritis? Have you used it with arthritis?
Yeah, I did. Started with that in the beginning, in the 80s.
So for a long time you've been doing that, for like the 30 years you've been working with arthritis. And what sort of results have you seen?
I'm very pleased with all the results I have, I must say.
But, you know, you kind of would say that, wouldn't you? I mean, but I suppose if the patients are happy, they're the end product.
But what I mean, if you look at MS, for instance.
MS is a serious, debilitating...
Yeah, exactly. And we can look at markers. And we can look at other diseases. And then if we see that there is a possibility to heal or change these people's life, then the easier diseases must even be easier.
Yeah, well, Tomo says this works because DNA are light and sound receptors, and I have read that.
Yeah, I'm treating Huntington too in Holland, very successful.
Huntington's disease. So, okay, I mean, let's ask Marcus. Marcus, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Marcus, what do your doctors say to you about this now? Do you think they're in favour of this energy cell treatment, or are they a bit dismissive? I mean, are they recommending it to other patients?
It's more like they are ignoring it. They don't accept it and they don't comment. But they have told me that if it works for you, it's great. But we're not gonna take it into any bigger arguments.
But they let Susanne into the hospital to treat you, and I mean, who recommended it to you? Was it somebody that you know who'd had treatment, or?
It was a friend to my mom's whose mom had been treated actually, and it was more my call for taking Susanne to the hospital than the doctors actually. They were quite negative when they heard that she would come, but they couldn't reject her.
Yeah, I mean, they say, don't they, that a drowning man clutches at straws. It must have seemed a bit like that to you, surely, that it's a bit of a long shot.
Yes.
But you were in a real bad place, weren't you?
Yes, they actually told me that you can do whatever you want, you can try every treatment there is, but it's not going to help you. But obviously they didn't know that. Because,
I don't know if you remember this, you're probably too young, but Christopher Reeve, who used to play Superman,
yes,
broke his neck in a very
that.
similar place to yours in a riding accident.
Yes, I remember.
And he spent millions of dollars and many, many years, and sadly he's passed away now, and he never got a cure, but he spent millions of dollars in all kinds of things, using stem cells and all kind of treatments.
Yes.
What a shame, you know.
Yeah, truly, truly. If, in my opinion, though, if he would have met Susanne earlier, then maybe he would have faced a difference too. He would have faced a change.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you again, Marcus.
Can we just ask Marcus, I heard that you can now drive a car. Is that right?
Yes, I can drive a car with, it's a bit adapted for me
Wonderful.
with automatic gearbox and stuff, but otherwise I can drive which is
Brilliant.
That is amazing, isn't it? That
yeah.
is-
No doctor could ever believe that I would ever drive a car again.
So a tetraplegic driving a car.
Yeah, that is quite unrare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm sure you are rare. I mean, do you know of any other tetraplegic who had the injury that you had, who is able now to walk, breathe unaided for most of the time, drive a car? Do you know of any?
No, none.
Anywhere in the world?
No, I don't know anyone who has developed the way I have.
And you've presumably looked this up on the internet and stuff and tried to find people like you, have you?
Yeah, well, I have met very many people who have different kinds of spinal cord injuries, but no one has heard or seen recovery that I have made.
Do you know of any other people that Susanne has treated?
Yeah, I met a few. One actually is quite funny. He's a former PT teacher to my brother at the school I was in when I was a little child, and he has been treated with very good results.
Okay. What did he break his neck as well?
No, he got MS.
Oh, he had MS.
Yeah. ELS it was.
What is that?
Lateral sclerosis.
Oh, okay, lateral sclerosis.
Sclerosis, yes.
Which is what, of the liver or something, is it? Or?
It's where the can we explain this at all? Actually?
Totally paralyzed.
With the
And it goes,
brain.
I think it's
Still
one of the most horrible diseases we have, and there is no cure. There is
And you used your treatment on him?
with very good results.
Well, okay, well that's,
And indeed, there are other
that's quite,
patients,
okay,
ALS.
we're going to go for another break now. Once again, please text in your questions or comments. For Susanne Johansson, Janet Evans and Marcus Lillebjorn, please do so now, and we'll see you back here very soon.
One Step Beyond, in association with Nexus Magazine.
Welcome back to One Step Beyond with me, Theo Chalmers, and my special guests, Susanne Johansson, Janet Evans and Marcus Lillebjorn. Okay, we're still getting loads of texts in, which is great. Some people are asking about the cost. Would the treatment cost a lot of money? Is it only for rich people? Says Jilly. Somebody else says, how much does it cost? So, is it a lot of money?
Well, if I tell you for the UK,
Okay, tell us for the UK.
the present cost is £250 per treatment.
And how long does the treatment last?
The treatment lasts up to 1 hour.
Okay. That seems a lot of money for an hour,
Yes,
speaking
but
personally. you know.
look what it does. And there's a lot of cost involved in the equipment, in arriving with, you know, the equipment as it is, the development of it, etc.,
Okay.
and getting here and whatever. But in fact, for a long time, Susanne didn't charge much at all. She was trying to do this for a much lesser cost. And it wasn't covering the expenses of the light and keeping it going. So it was necessary. That is the actual cost.
Okay, well, Joanne says, how long and often are the treatments? How long, if somebody had MS and they came to you, how many? Once a week?
Or
For how
at
long?
least twice a month.
Yes.
For how long?
Let's say if you will 10 treatments,
Yeah.
and then it must be a change that much more than just an imagine.
Okay, so you have to be pretty confident that it's going to work for you, I guess, if you're going to spend that sort of money, aren't you? You're going to have to spend, say, $2.5 grand.
But it depends upon what you have, what the problem is. And it's not a question of waiting for 10 treatments to get, you know, a bit better. After each treatment, it's progressive.
Well,
You know, I've
given
seen people-
Marcus's
Invest-
experience,
yeah.
when he was
Exactly.
moving his hand after
Yes.
one treatment.
Yes, and I've seen people come in seriously ill, you know, with chronic disease, and after the first treatment, they feel something, you know, they have a result, and their well-being is just improving constantly. You know, and you get to a month or so later that they're becoming a different person.
Okay, I'm going to have to issue my my disclaimer here that we're not advocating any treatment, and you must go and see your medical professional, and you know, check anything you do before you do it. You know, this kit that you've developed, Susanne, does it work with different light frequencies? Have you worked out what different frequencies work for different conditions? How does that work?
Yeah, it is different frequencies. There is some frequency used for the immune system, because and then you can also use other different frequencies for different diseases.
So you've got a list that you use in your head, or presumably written down for Janet and whoever else, because you've got another clinic in Oslo, I believe.
Yeah, in Stockholm.
And one in Stockholm. Well, you're in Stockholm, aren't you?
Yeah, and
Holland.
And one in Holland. Whereabouts in Holland is it?
Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam. Okay.
But only twice a month.
Okay, so you've presumably written down. So this is the frequency, and some you have for this condition. Is that right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
And is it the same color, laser light? Is it all red, or is it, because that was
It's
in
a
that
mix.
film.
It's a mix. It's a mix of. It's also invisible lights.
Invisible light. Is that
invisible.
laser light?
Yeah,
Is that like
it's-
UV or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it took a long time to find out all this about.
Okay.
And so the construction is a patent
You
construction.
patented
isn't
it.
Yeah, it's a patent construction, and it's protected method.
Okay. Well, that's good, I suppose. Somebody's saying here, ladies, first of amazing work, seems fantastic. I'm sure, however, this was first pioneered in the 1930s by a name called Roy Rife. I think he's talking about Royal Raymond Rife, but that was using a very sophisticated microscope and then sound, wasn't it? That was using sound, not light, sound frequencies to destroy bacteria and so
Well, you
on.
still have frequency, so you have that connection, but it is light and not sound.
Yeah. It's Jeff Irwin in Belfast says, Theo, it's well out of my league, and most others on invalidity. What a shame, so out of reach financially for ordinary folk. I mean, I suppose it's a shame, isn't it, that it's not on the National Health.
But
I wish
hopefully,
it would.
yes,
And
yes,
hopefully,
yes.
hopefully.
I mean, if we can go forward with the studies, you know, and develop from there, then why not?
You know, but a lot of people have made the same point here. They've said that the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want something that does this.
But
I know you want to be positive, Susanne, but a lot of people think, you know, they've seen, haven't they, how those big pharma works.
or let's say I'm still positive after all these years. So, because I believe in the human, and I believe in the good things.
Yeah.
So, and everything can be changed.
Okay. Here's a question. Say you have somebody with a certain condition that comes to you, has a series of treatment, feels great, goes away. Do they relapse? Does it come back? Or do they have to keep coming back for treatment? Or
No, if you healed, then you healed.
yeah.
So, if I take a pill because I have a pain, then I don't feel the pain. That's not the same.
That's not a
as
fix, though, is it? It's just removing the
okay.
symptoms. Yeah.
But if I'm healed, then I'm healed. If I'm healed by my own power, then I am healed. I don't need to treat a healthy body, because it's not a medicine that you take and you have to continue taking. It's more, if you heal, you healed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the time it takes for each patient to get to that point will vary, even with the same diagnosis.
So even if they've got the same condition, the same whatever it is,
Yes.
cancer or the same MS or whatever.
We can have the same diagnosis, but the reason we get the diagnosis can be different as many cases we have.
Yeah.
So that means we heal in a different ways.
Yeah.
Hopefully we heal.
Because our medical history is different, how we actually
Yeah.
came by the disease is different.
Okay, this is an interesting question. I can't read who it's sent by because sometimes they get cut off right at the end on my screen here, but somebody says, does ultraviolet light kill all infectious diseases claimed by Dr. Len Horowitz? This is somebody I've interviewed in the past. Do you know about that, ultraviolet light? Because you said you were using invisible light. Is that ultraviolet?
Some of this light can be ultralight, but I prefer the laser light.
The laser light. Okay.
But I do believe in all energy medicine.
Okay. Somebody else says, does it work on stroke victims?
I treat that too, but...
Is there anything you don't treat?
No, I have been concentrating to treat all these uncurable, or let's say, the things that we normally can't do that much for. So, but, and the good thing, it's went up very good.
I've got to ask this question, because I'm surprised no one's texted this in, but are there people you can't cure? Or can't, can't have an improvement
No, but let's say, I'd never say cure. I don't use that word. No, I'm not afraid to treat any diseases because I do believe on the possibilities. And if you can't do any harm, then you can
You can try it on anybody, because if it can't hurt you, then
the worst that can happen is that nothing happens.
It's not like trying a new drug that might have horrible side effects.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. The worst that can happen is nothing happens.
But you still haven't answered the question. Are there people that you treat that don't have any improvement?
It's hard to answer that question. Yeah,
Why?
because for many reasons. Because even if you can have a better condition and a better quality of life, maybe you can't save everyone.
I must admit, though, I haven't witnessed any patient who didn't have some kind of benefit from the treatment.
And you've been doing it for how long?
I've been training and working with Susanne for 3.5 to 4 years now.
Okay, so you've seen a lot of patients.
Exactly, yes, with very different illnesses and diseases.
And presumably, you know, prognoses as well. Some of them
exactly
very poor, I'm sure. If you're kind of getting the ones that the medicine industry, the allopathic medicine industry has kind of given up on, then you're basically getting the ones that are the least likely to be cured by any alternative treatment, aren't you? So you're saying that you've seen, of all the people you've seen, there's not one that hasn't
I haven't seen
Is that what you're saying?
some sort of benefit from the light. I'm not saying, you know, that they're totally healed or whatever. They have some benefit, an improvement in well-being. Even other symptoms have improved, you know, separate to their illness as well.
Okay.
Because it has very good side effects.
Yeah. Well, but these, well, they're not side effects, are they? These are the effects. You know, the effects are the effects. These are what you want.
Yeah.
It's not like drugs where you have, say, I don't know, 30 effects, and you might only want one out of the 30 or 2.
No, but you can treat for one disease, for instance, and then you can see that the blood pressure get a balance.
And something the patient might not have even mentioned beforehand improves. And suddenly they think, oh God, you know, that knee used to give me a lot of trouble. Now, nothing. I can walk, I don't feel it, etc. But they came in for something completely different.
So it's doing something. I mean, in your opinion, obviously, it's doing something that to the body that fixes potentially lots of things that are wrong. Is that correct?
The immune system to heal the body itself.
And perhaps the immune system
is
taking it where it needs to be first. Perhaps the immune system is guiding that.
I'm just wondering if, you know, because people have asked this question, maybe it isn't just the immune system, maybe it's just like the ability of the body to repair itself with stem cells, for instance, you know, because we all have stem cells in our bone marrow,
is a very, that's my opinion, that my belief is that stem cell is a big part of our immune system.
Okay. But we need, I guess we need to get to that point where it's being properly evaluated. And that's what you want to achieve, isn't it?
Yeah, because there is a lot of results there. So what
Well,
we-
30 years seems a long time to be
yeah,
you know,
but,
walking alone in the desert. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
And now it's time to really go forward and prove how we achieved, how Susanne has achieved those results. And
What-
that we can do with the study.
You know, people have said, and some have had a text, it's scrolled off the screen by now, but somebody sent a text in, how can we help? How could people help, you know, with your agenda to tell
Help
the
with the
world
studies.
Or studies or...
The very thing, you see, we have, and Susanne has, a lot of interest from medics, from doctors, etc. And they would like to be a part of that, part of a study, but it's not they who fund the study. And of course, they can be very expensive. You know, financially, it is difficult to get those studies going. So
Yeah,
that's an opportunity.
okay. Jane in Crewe says, will there be any places giving the treatment in the north anytime soon? Because you're in Windsor, aren't you?
Yes, that's where
Thatcher.
the clinic is presently.
I wish we could be everywhere.
Yeah.
So people would have to travel to Windsor.
Well, people actually travel to Windsor from all over the place. We have them coming up from the south, from the north, etc., from Greece, from other countries.
Greece?
Ah, yeah, and they come to London. So
So people are flying in like every week or every fortnight from...
every 2
second
weeks here in London. But of course, Susanne is every week in Stockholm. And
So
the
you
other
come to
places.
London how often, or to Windsor?
Twice a month.
You come twice a month. And do you do the treatment when Suzanne's not here? Is that how it works?
No, she works together
No.
with me when I'm here.
Okay, so
The
it's
clinic is
basically it's
open
all
every
down
2
to you.
weeks.
Yes. So far.
So I mean, after 30 years, is it not possible to train lots of other people to go out with your kit? And
I think the most, because of all the good results, and hopefully what this can do in the future, not only on a short term, then I think an important thing is to find the studies to explain the results.
what's happening?
Yeah,
Find
what's
out what the
I can have theories about it, but I need to explain it in medical.
It needs to be presented in a more scientific medical way to be accepted.
Yeah, I can understand that. Okay, well, that is all we've got time for tonight. Thank you to everyone for watching and to those who texted. And thanks to my special guests, Susanne Johansson, Janet Evans, and Marcus Lillebjorn. For more information, why not visit energycelltreatment.eu. I look forward to inviting you to take one step beyond again. Until then, may the God you seek be you. Good night.